Hello and welcome to ME-Arcone, a platform dedicated to meaningful conversation on alternative dispute resolution. And we are delighted to have you with us, ma'am. At ME-Arcone, we promote peace, efficient, and collaborative dispute resolution to reduce the burden on court litigation. Court plays a vital role in delivering justice, but courts are overburdened with the cases. But on the other hand, the minor cases and interpersonal conflicts could be resolved by ADR, such as through arbitration, mediation, negotiation, conciliation, such as. And our goal is to promote ADR, spread the awareness, and make people to trust in ADR. At this platform, we invite the ADR legal professionals, practitioners, and students to share their experiences and knowledge which they have gained in the field of ADR so we can spread the awareness and most of the people get benefit out of it. Before we begin with our session, a brief introduction from my side. I am Master Sen. I am pursuing my BBA LLB degree from Kristu Jayanti College of Law, Bangalore, and I am in my fifth year of degree. And I am an intern at Institute for Alternative Dispute Resolution in ADR, New Delhi. Today we have with us Bhanu Ketneni ma'am. Ma'am is graduated with a BBA LLB degree from ICFAI Law School, Hyderabad, with a dual degree in IPR and cyber law. Ma'am had pursued her LLM in comparative and international dispute resolution from Queen Mary University, London. Ma'am has worked in real estate litigation and now currently working in a corporate office dealing with various dispute resolution issues through different sectors such as employment, labor laws, IPR, property matters, property due diligence. Today, our podcast will be revolving around our theme that is commercial mediation, the smart way to resolve business disputes. Now, with your due permission, may we begin? Am I audible, ma'am?
Thank you so much to having me. Yes, yes. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, when we talk about mediation, so mediation is not just restricted to family disputes, right? There are other disputes also which is coming under the umbrella of mediation. So when we talk about commercial mediation, so how would you explain commercial mediation to someone new to dispute resolution?
Okay. So, commercial mediation is a structured and a facilitated way of resolving a dispute. So, it involves a skilled mediator and the parties. So, the parties here are who decide the outcome of mediation with regards to litigation or arbitration, where the court decides your fate. But in commercial mediation, the parties decide their own fate. So anyone who's new to mediation should be well aware that they are the ones who decide all the issue on their own. And a mediator is just a neutral person who steers the uh, uh, outcome or steers the resolution.
So, ma'am, when we think about like when any dispute is there, the first thing we think that go to litigation or arbitration. So, why is commercial mediation becoming a preferred method for resolving business dispute over litigation or arbitration?
In your traditional options in litigation and arbitration, the business who are in the dispute, they don't tend to be happy with the outcome. But I guess recently now that everybody is, aware of commercial mediation, they know and they're aware that this mediation is it's confidential and parties are the ones who uh, you know go ahead with the decision making and they are the ones who decide the outcome. But in litigation, it's public, it's expensive and slow. And at the same time, arbitration, even though initially it was a better and a smarter way to resolve disputes, still it's imitating the way how litigation is by taking time, and even the cost hasn't been more effective comparative to litigation. So now commercial mediation coming into picture and businesses being aware of it, they know that they can resolve their mediate, and they are in charge.
Yes, ma'am. So we could say that commercial mediation could be cost effective and less time consuming compared to litigation, right?
Yes,
And
yes, definitely.
yes. And man, when we like, I have been to court proceedings and we have seen that court works in some rigid rules. There's a procedure, there's a formal way to conduct litigation. So, what actually happens inside the commercial session? Is it just negotiation, or there's some structured way to perform it?
So this is actually a very good question. Everybody thinks, how does mediation actually work? It's not close to litigation. I could say, yes, the parties are the ones who negotiate, but why mediation or why a mediator sits there is because first, when it comes to mediation, both parties who enter, they have so much emotion in them. There's so much confusion. There's always that idea that, okay, I'm going into mediation, or I'm going into some dispute resolution method thinking I'm the one at fault, or maybe the other person has done the mistake, and I the one who has to win right now. When a mediator sits down and he puts both the parties together, the first step is where the parties actually only talk about their issue in hand. They don't introduce anything. They just first deal, or they voice their opinions. And in the second stage, what they do is the mediator sits with the parties individually, separately, so that they're not seeing the other person, not, you know, keeping them in mind. So it's just their perspectives, party A or party B. So when media sits with party A, it's only them who are focused, and the mediator listens to them. That's when the parties feel that they're heard. So the mediator only asks questions after both the parties have spoken in front of each other. He asks, so what did you feel about what party has said? Or what was your thought process during? So when the first stage ends and the second stage begins, the second stage, party A, who's actually sitting with the mediator, would have heard what party B said and also thought about how they have been in business before, how they started. So things do come into motion because over the time you have built a relationship with that person, you would have done business with them. You go into business with the person thinking, okay, both of us are going to benefit, we're going to profit, we're going to have a good relation. So end of the day, in mediation, it's still two people who've trusted each other, who have wanted to do something better to the society, help the society, make profits, whatever it is. It's still two people. So I think mediation and the mediator help them to understand how they started, how they've continued the journey, been there, and now even though there's a slight conflict right now, they can still unwind, be heard, be vocal about it, and resolve it in a manner both of them are in a neutral position, and not neutral, but they're in a safe space, and both of them feel that they are heard. So they walk out thinking, okay, we haven't lost our respect, we haven't lost our dignity, we are here, we're still humans, and we resolved it by the way we want it.
Ma'am, I think a mediator plays a very important role to give the party the platform and the comforts so they can speak out their
Yes.
problems, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Ma'am, again, when we think about a traditional litigation method, at the end of the day, one party is losing and one party is winning. So we are not preserving relationship in litigation. So how does commercial mediation help to preserve long-term business dispute, business relationship?
So this again comes to commercial mediation. mediation, preserving your long-term relationships. Litigation is public and everybody's, asked to follow the procedure. And then once you know that all of your business relations or your matters or your profits, everything is out, you do feel a little exposed. And arbitration takes it a step ahead. There's not a lot of people there. Obviously, there's an arbitrator, you, your counsel, and couple for the people. Same with the other opposite party, them and their counsel. So the crowd or the number of people who are actually witnessing your dispute reduces. Sure, it's a safer place compared to a litigation. And here as well, your arbitrator decides what happens. In litigation, the court decides who wins or who loses. But I guess in mediation, because you are sitting and you are trying to analyze the situation, you are actually, the mediator helps parties look at the problem from different perspectives. Like they'll make you see how the other person or the person who are in conflict with, what they might be going through, or what their perspective is. So he won't share anything because the whole thing is confidential when the mediation is going on, and we actually share the opponent has said to the mediator won't be told to me. But when the mediator listens to what the other person says, he formulates the questions to the other party in a way where you think from their point of view. So you know that you're actually in their situation, in their shoes. So that helps in a long-term relationship because once the mediation is resolved, you know what you have decided or what the other person would have gone through for you to come here, or even if you were the one in fault, and you because you had that mindset when you in a mediation that you want to resolve, you know that going forward you are in a better place because you are the one who took the decision.
Yes, ma'am. So we can say that the confidentiality and the protection of privacy which mediation gives, that is kind of motivating the parties to come and talk, because whatever they are talking within the four walls, it stays within those walls. So I think confidentiality could
Yeah.
be the another important reason that parties are coming forward and choosing commercial mediation, especially businesses, right, ma'am? And when we talk about mediation, ma'am, lot of people are involved. The most important mediator is involved. Lawyers are involved, and parties are involved. So, what makes commercial mediation successful? Is it the mediator, the counsel, or the mindset of the parties?
It's definitely the mindset of the parties. Even though everybody was present there, they're all just trying to help you in a structured manner to decode and analyze and look deeper into your problem rather than trying to like push things onto your, suggest options of, negotiating or suggest options to resolve the issue, because it's the parties who are in that place and holding a lot of power over this entire dispute resolution. It's definitely the parties who make the commercial mediation a success. And outside in like the UK and in the US, commercial mediations happen only in the span of 24 hours. So in the morning, if the parties enter into mediation, by the end of the day, if they're not done, then it means it's a unsuccessful mediation and they won't go ahead to the next day and try to resolve it. In just that one day, they're told that this is our timeline. And if you walk out of this mediation today with an unresolved issue, then there's no way you can come back and you'll have to go back to the courts. You'll have to choose arbitration. So when you enter, the mediator tells the parties that we've taken a very big step of sitting here opposite to each other and choosing me or anybody as a mediator because you have taken voluntarily sat here in order to resolve it on your own within this time span. So to make the most of the opportunity and make sure you don't choose another and you don't have any alternatives. We don't threat, but like when there are traditional options like maybe litigation and arbitration. We've chosen an easier, simpler way. We tell them that this is your timeline and let's try and resolve it in your way, your comfort, so that everything happens and you walk out with the amicable solution where both parties are happy, satisfied, and tomorrow they continue the relationship that we've had from the beginning. So this conflict was just a little bump in their business relation, and going forward, they would continue the same and respect each other the same way.
Yes, ma'am. That could be the one of the feature of ADR, that it is mostly party oriented. Like what parties want, what parties have dispute, they communicate to each other. But the only thing is we have a neutral person to keep the balance between them, that there will not be any conflict during their conversation. Ma'am, before we conclude,
Yeah.
what advice you would like to give to the young lawyers to go forward in their legal journey?
Definitely one thing is always be motivated and choose the exact path that motivates you and you're passionate about. There's so much in law that you can explore. It's not just litigation or arbitration or mediation. So much coming up now. So the more you dig in, the more you try and look for new legal fields, I think, and gets more exciting. It's more interesting that way. And the world is changing really fast with day by day. So I guess when we up to the mark and we explore new things, that way profession doesn't make us, uh, boring or life's much better that way.
That's a very good advice, ma'am, because young lawyers, when we reach, as I myself, when I am in my final year, I feel like there are a lot of fields where to explore, where to find our interest. Because when we see what other people are doing, what they are choosing, we kind of compare, because which field it's which will give you the more good career options with the proper pay. Right. So it's very important. You are very much clear about your goals, your field. So you won't divert your energy in a different parts. If you know which field you have to use, so you can put all your potential and efforts in that particular field. Right. Yes.
Yeah, that'll come once you keep exploring and you choose different areas, then you'll understand, oh, this is what I'm interested in. This is where my, all of my passion leads to. Then you can choose that and you go forward. So trying different, fields, not just litigation and corporate, would actually explore the opportunities that are coming up.
Yes. Sure. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us in this podcast. We didn't only get the Indian perspective of ADR, we also got the knowledge about the international mechanism of ADR, and your expertise, your knowledge make this podcast very insightful. We are very delighted to have you with us, that you gave your knowledge, you shared your experiences. I am sure that our audience will be benefited out of it. And also, thank you to our audience that they are joining us in this journey. They are supporting our initiative. And please be tuned to Me-Arcone Queen for more updated podcast. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's lovely
Thank you so
to
much. Thank you,
see.
Asta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a
Thank you.
great day.
Have, same to you, ma'am.